Hello everyone and welcome into Consol Energy Park in Washington, Pennsylvania, where today your Washington Wild Things take on the Windy City Thunderbolts in Game 3 of a 3-game series. Hi everyone, I'm Zach Ziegler taking you through the entire 2016 season. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network. Last night, Wild Things winning Game 2 of this 3-game series by a final score of 8-6. Lots of offense to go around in that one. Gonna have a recap of that coming up for you. Also, our sit down with Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo 2 for 4 last night. Drove in 4 runs, including a 3-run home run in the bottom of inning number 1. He'll join us. Also going to take a look at the lineups. Going to take a look at some category leaders from around the league here, just over a month into the season on this Father's Day. Also going to take a look at the pitching matchup, and we'll have first pitch for you tonight at 5:05. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network. As we said yesterday, the Wild Things took Game 2 of this 3-game series. Final score 8-6 as they've taken the first 2 games in this series for a 2-0 series lead. It started in the top of the first yesterday. Tim Zier would fly out to start things. Then Coco Johnson, a solo home run. It was Johnson's 3rd home run of the season, and the Windy City Thunderbolts took a 1-0 lead. The Wild Things would respond in the bottom of the first as Jamal Austin would single lead things off. He moved up to second base on a throwing error by starting pitcher Mitchell Cody, so there was a runner at second, nobody out before Ricky Rodriguez hit an infield single and a ground ball to the left side. So that put runners at first and second with nobody away before Brian Harr would hit into a 4-6-3 double play. So the runner at third and 2 outs, the inning looked like it would be over for the Wild Things, but Dave Popkins walked, and Jimmy Yezzo, a 3-run home run over the left field wall, gave your Wild Things a 3-1 lead. Andrew Heck would hit a double, and Logan Ox would fly out to end inning number 1. The Windy City Thunderbolts would get back on the board in the top of the second. Blair Beck, a solo shot. It was Beck's 4th home run of the year, and that made it 3-2. Cody Kiefer would follow that with a double, and Taylor Smart would walk. So runners at second and third, nobody out before Johnny Ironman hit into a fielder's choice. Runners at first and third now with 1 away, and starting pitcher Brandon Hinkle dialed up a 6-4-3 double play that would end the top of the second with the score Wild Things 3, Windy City 2. The Wild Things would get back on the board in the bottom of inning number 3 after a Ricky Rodriguez single. Brian Harr flew out and Dave Popkins grounded out. So there was a runner at second base with 2 men away before Jimmy Yezzo came through with his 4th RBI of the day, an RBI single up the middle, scoring Ricky Rodriguez and giving the Wild Things a 4-2 lead. Then Windy City would get back on the board in the top of inning number 5. It started out with a single by Taylor Smart, followed by a walk to Reggie Lawson. Lawson pinch hit for Johnny Ironman, the designated hitter. So there was first and second with nobody out before a sacrifice bunt by Kevin Barker moved them up to second and third with 1 away. Tim Zier would ground into a fielder's choice, allowing Taylor Smart to score. That made the score 4-3 Washington Wild Things. Then a walk to Coco Johnson loaded the bases. The walk to Coco Johnson did load the bases. Reggie Lawson was thrown out on the fielder's choice by Tim Zier. So bases are full of Windy City Thunderbolts with 2 men away. That would be the end for Brandon Hinkle. Hinkle in total went 4 2/3 innings, giving up 3 runs, all earned on 5 hits, 3 walks, and 1 strikeout. So not a great start for Brandon Hinkle, but also not a bad one as he gets in there and puts a good start up for your Washington Wild Things. Then Sam Agnew-Whelan would come into the game. He would leave the bases loaded as he got Corey Bass to fly out to end that top of the 5th inning with the score, your Wild Things 4, Windy City 3. Then we went to the bottom of the 5th inning. Ricky Rodriguez would lead things off with a walk before Brian Harr hit his 7th home run of the season, a 2-run home run that gave the Wild Things a 6-4 lead. And after that would smell the end for the starter for Windy City, Mitchell Cody. Cody ended up going 4 innings, giving up 6 runs, all earned on 7 hits, 3 walks, and no strikeouts for the right-hander for Windy City. Chris Chias would come in to relieve Cody, and he would retire the 3 Wild Things he faced in the inning, getting Dave Popkins to fly out, striking out Jimmy Yezzo, and getting Andrew Heck to ground out to end the bottom of the 5th. And after 5, it was Wild Things 6, Windy City 4. The Windy City Thunderbolts would threaten in the top of the 6th. Cody Kiefer, Taylor Smart back-to-back singles, but after a fielder's choice by Reggie Lawson and a ground out by Kevin Barker, the inning would be over. So then the Wild Things would not score in the bottom of the 6th. Just one man on a walk to Logan Ox, and the other 3 batters were retired. Windy City tried to get back into it in inning number 7, down 6-4. The inning started with 2 back-to-back singles by Tim Zier and Coco Johnson off Sam Agnew-Whelan, and then Agnew-Whelan hit Ransom Malone with a pitch to load the bases with with nobody out before Corey Bass was hit by a pitch. That brought in a run, and that made the score 6-5. Then Blair Beck came in, hit into a double play, 6-4-3, and Cody Kiefer would ground out to end that inning. The score would be 6-5 Wild Things. After the top of the 7th, Wild Things would answer in the bottom of the 7th. Ricky Rodriguez walked, Brian Harr flew out, and Dave Popkins singled. So that put runners at first and third, after the single. Jimmy Yeza would fly out, and then with Andrew Heck batting, Dave Popkins took off for second base. The throw beat Popkins by a mile, but he had the wherewithal to get into a rundown and allow Ricky Rodriguez to score before Popkins was tagged out. That gave the Wild Things a 7-5 lead. Then the 8th inning, Zach Rhodes came in, struck out Taylor Smart, walked Reggie Lawson, and then got John Williams, the pinch hitter for Kevin Barker, to hit into a 6-4-3 double play to end the 8th. Wild Things would add on in inning number 8 as Andrew Heck would fly out. Logan Ox would hit a solo home run over the left field wall. That made the score 8-5 Washington Wild Things. McKeon would walk, Wilbrock would ground out, and Jamal Austin would strike out to end things in the 8th. Going to the 9th, Zach Rhodes looking for his 5th save of the year. He got his first man out. Tim Zier would ground out the 9th. Coco Johnson then doubled. He got Ransom alone to strike out, and Groats then allowed the first run he's given up all season as Corey Bass an RBI double. That made the score 8-6, and then Blair Beck would fly out to right field, and that would end the game. Your Wild Things improved to 17-14, still currently sitting in 3rd place in the Frontier League East standings. The Windy City Thunderbolts falling to 19-13. They are still the number 1 team in the Frontier League East, but only a half game ahead of the 2nd place Joliet Slammers. Joliet sits at 19-14 after their game last night. We're going to take our first break here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show. When we come back, our sit-down with Jimmy Yezzo. So keep it tuned right here for more Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show. Currently joined by Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo 2 for 4 yesterday with that big 3-run homer in the first inning. Want to talk about that at bat. You had 2 guys on with 2 outs. What are you looking for as you step up to the plate?
Just looking for something out over the plate, something hit pretty hard, and hopefully get a couple runs on the board and happen to go out.
We saw you at first base last night. You're in there at the DH spot tonight. Is there a difference in approach when you're playing first base as opposed to DH in terms of staying into the game and keeping focused?
Yeah, it's all there is to it. You just got to stay in the game and pay attention and keep up with things and what's going on and what the situations are and what you got to do.
After taking these first 2 games here in this series against Windy City, looking for the sweep today, what do you guys need to do to get out in front of Windy City and get the sweep?
Just keep doing what we've been doing, getting some pretty good timely hitting and some really good pitching, been making some plays in the field. So it's been a collective effort as a group, whoever's out there that particular day. Just got to grind through it and keep getting some wins.
And finally, playing here on Father's Day, what does it mean for you to take the field today? Any good baseball memories with your dad out here before this game?
Yeah, all of them. He's been there for everything. We'll be there today, so hopefully go out and have another good game.
Thanks, Jimmy. Good luck today.
Thank you.
We'll be right back here on the Watch.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, getting you ready for Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Wild Things taking the first 2 games of this series by scores of 3-0 and 8-6 as they're looking for their second sweep of the season in tonight's ball game. Going to take a look at the lineups here for both teams as they're getting ready to take the field. For the Windy City Thunderbolts, they come into this game with a record of 19-13. They'll lead off with their second baseman, Tim Zier. Batting second in left field will be Coco Johnson. Hitting third and playing at shortstop, Ransom Malone. Batting fourth in right field, Cody Kiefer. Batting fifth at first base, Blair Beck. Batting sixth at third base, Taylor Smart. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, Reggie Lawson. Batting eighth and playing in behind the plate, Larry Bulkwell. And batting ninth and playing in center field, John Williams. And the Windy City Thunderbolts, led by their manager, Ron Biga. On the mound for the Thunderbolts today will be Tyler Murphy. Murphy is warming up in the bullpen right now. And for your Washington Wild Things, they'll lead off with their center fielder, Jamal Austin. Batting second at third base, Ricky Rodriguez. Batting third and playing at second base, Brian Harr. Batting fourth in right field, Dave Popkins. Hitting fifth, designated hitter, Jimmy Yezzo. Batting sixth at left field, Nick Ferdinand. Batting seventh and playing at first base, Logan Ox. Hitting eighth and catching, Alex McKeon. And batting ninth and playing at shortstop, Austin Wolbrock. On the mound for your Washington Wild Things is Matt Frodden. It's Domestic Violence Awareness Day here on this Father's Day at Consol Energy Park. Wild Things players wearing special domestic violence awareness jerseys. They have white on the top and then purple stripes going through the bottom of the jerseys. Pretty cool looking jersey out there today for your Washington Wild Things, showing their support for domestic violence awareness. Had a couple of on-field ceremonies before the game to help raise awareness for this troubling issue. Right now, we're getting ready for the national anthem. I'm going to take you down to the field here at Consol Energy Park. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gentlemen and ladies, and the real River Cats, performing the national anthem this afternoon, let's welcome Shepherd's Voice.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network on this Father's Day here from Consol Energy Park. Wild Things taking the field. Matt Frodden going through his warm tosses. The Wild Things align like this. In the outfield left to right, it's Ferdinand, Austin, and Popkins. Left side of the infield held down by Rodriguez and Wolbrock. Right side by Haar and Yezo. Behind the plate, Alex McKeon. Catching today's starting pitcher, Matt Frodden. Frodden on the hill for your Washington Wild Things has a record of 2-1 as ERA sits at 3.00. This is making his 6th start of the season, 7th appearance. Has thrown 33 innings of work, giving 11 runs all earned on 26 hits, 25 strikeouts to 12 walks on the year. Matt Frodden made the start Tuesday night against the Joliet Slammers. As he warms up here, the lineup he'll face looks like this. Windy City leads off with their second baseman, Tim Zier. Batting second in left field, Coco Johnson. Hitting third at shortstop, Ransom Lalone. Batting fourth in right field, Cody Kiefer. Hitting fifth at first base, Blair Beck. Batting sixth and playing at third base, Taylor Smart. Hitting seventh, the designated hitter, Reggie Lawson. Batting eighth at catching, Larry Balkwell. Batting ninth and playing in center field, John Williams. And on the mound for the Windy City Thunderbolts is Tyler Murphy. The starter for today's game was up in the air until the very last minute. It was going to be Brady Muller, but they changed to Tyler Murphy for the Thunderbolts. We're ready for baseball here at Consol Energy Park as in steps Tim Zier, and we are ready to go in the top of inning number 1. Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Zier comes into this one. Frodden set. Here's the pitch. And Zier takes for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. First pitch today thrown at 5:07 p.m. Eastern Time. Temperature outside currently 85 degrees. First pitch time and temperature brought to you by State Line Grocery and Hot Spot. Zier 274, no homers, 10 RBIs. The next pitch, and that one's it. Called strike on the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Matt Frodden, making his 6th start of the year, has been pretty good for the Wild Things in the rotation so far, picking up his first loss of the season in his last outing against Joliet. Frodden set the 0-2, and that one's outside for a ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Frodden out of the starting staff has the second lowest ERA, with his ERA sitting at 3. Third lowest on the team. Zach Groats has the lowest with 0.58. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Frodden strikes out Zier. That's how we'll start the afternoon. With that out, going to take a look at the umpires today. Behind home plate, Robert Wrights, and on the bases, Ron Whitting Sr. Ron Whitting Sr. was behind the plate last night. Robert Wrights, a new umpire in for this game. That'll bring up the left fielder, Coco Johnson. Johnson comes into this one hitting .314, 3 home runs, and 15 RBIs. Frodden set. Here's the pitch to Johnson. And that one's inside and called a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Windy City left fielder. Big day yesterday as he ended up going 4 for 4. Here's Frodden's 0-1. And that one's low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. The second ball Frodden's thrown on the day. For Frodden, a ground ball pitcher like most of these starters for your Washington Wild Things. He's set the 1-1. Johnson taps this one to the left side and foul. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out here in the top of the first. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Game just underway. Windy City scored their first run in the top of the first in yesterday's ball game on Coco Johnson's solo home run. A couple of clouds in the sky here at Consol Energy Park, but mostly sunny today. The 1-2. That one's in the dirt. Nice block by McKeon behind the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Wild Things in their domestic violence awareness jerseys. White top half with purple and black stripes on the bottom and their home pants. Windy City comes into this one in their alternate blues with their gray road pants. Frodden set the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and he gets Johnson. Strikes the first 2 men out he's faced here in this ball game. And there are 2 away in the top of the first for the shortstop, Ransom Lalone. Lalone hitting .296 with a homer and 14 RBIs. Has hitting that number 3 spot in all 3 games against the Wild Things. For Matt Frodden, 25 strikeouts, currently second on the team in that category. He's added 2 today as he struck out the first 2 men he's faced. He's set. Here's the pitch. And that one's inside for a ball as Lalone has to jump out of the way. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the shortstop for Windy City. Malone played all 3 games at shortstop so far, hitting that number 3 spot. Broaden's 1-0. And this ball hit softly behind second base. Brian Haar going back, and he'll make the catch, and that is out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Thunderbolts here in the first after half an inning the score. Windy City nothing. Your Washington Wild Things coming to bat. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, currently going to the bottom of the first, and the score, Windy City nothing. Your Washington Wild Things coming to bat. In the outfield for Windy City, they're lined up like this. Outfield left to right, Johnson, Williams, and Kiefer. Left side of the infield, Smart and Lalone. Right side, Zier and Beck. And behind the plate, Larry Balkwell catching today's starter, Tyler Murphy. Murphy comes into this one with a record of 1-0, a 1.05 ERA. Appearing in his 9th game, is his 2nd start. He has made one other start in the year. Has thrown 17 innings of work, giving up 3 runs, 2 earned on 10 hits, 3 walks, and 19 strikeouts. A very good ERA for Murphy. Only he's made 1 start so far, though. He's given up 2 runs and 17 innings of work, so it could be a tough customer for your Washington Wild Things today. The lineup he'll face for your Wild Things looks like this. They'll lead off with their center fielder, Jamal Austin. Batting second and playing in right field, Ricky Rodriguez. Hitting third, the second baseman, Brian Haar. Batting fourth, the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Hitting fifth, designated hitter, Jimmy Yezzo. Batting sixth and in left field, Nick Ferdinand. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Logan Ox. Hitting eighth behind the plate, Alex McKeon. And batting ninth and playing at shortstop is Austin Wolbrock. On the mound for your Wild Things, as you saw, Matt Frodden, as he had a 1-2-3 first inning. The original starter today for Windy City was scheduled to be Brady Muller. However, a last-second change for the Windy City Thunderbolts put Tyler Murphy on the mound for this start. And Murphy, as we said, looking to expand upon those very good numbers so far. 1-0 with just the 1.05 ERA, 19 strikeouts and 17 innings of work. So he's going to pound the strike zone. He only has 3 walks this season. So the Wild Things have to look for pitches in the zone and take advantage if they want to get the sweep today. Wild Things have taken the first 2 games of this series. Looking for the sweep. Jamal Austin, their first batter, steps in here to lead off the bottom of inning number 1. No score between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Austin comes into this one hitting .244, no home runs, and 5 RBIs. Murphy set. Here's the pitch. Austin bunting, but takes this pitch at the letters for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the leadoff hitter for the Wild Things has led off the game with a hit in each of the first 2 games this series. Murphy set. Here's the 0-1. And Austin takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes even at 1-1. Jamal Austin, very good in the leadoff spot. Very patient hitter. Takes his time, waits for his pitch, and goes with it when he sees it. Murphy set. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss by Austin. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That one up by the letters. Tyler Murphy has thrown 2 pitches up in the zone to Jamal Austin. Austin not catching up to either of them. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Murphy has his sign. Here's the 1-2. Austin checks his swing, takes this one in the dirt. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And a good leadoff man makes the starting pitcher work. Jamal Austin's been doing just that in the last couple of games. He's been filing off a lot of pitches here in the first at-bat, making the starting pitcher throw a lot of pitches. Murphy set. Here's the 2-2. And Austin pops this one up towards the stands, and it'll get behind the netting and land in the seating area. Count sticks at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, nobody out to the Wild Things center fielder, Jamal Austin. Austin, the speedster on this team, leads the team with 11 stolen bases. For the Wild Things, Mike Marshall coaching at first, manager Greg Langben over at third base. The 2-2, and that one's outside. Count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jamal Austin doing what he does best, and making his pitcher work to start the game. Ricky Rodriguez, the on-deck hitter for your Washington Wild Things. Murphy's 3-2. And this one lined towards the middle. Lalone a sliding stop, and he can't get to his feet in time, so it'll be an infield single for Jamal Austin. Good effort by Ransom Lalone, but just couldn't get to that ball. Had to range a long way to his left to make that play, and by the time he got to it, he slid to his knees and wasn't able to get the ball for the out, so the Wild Things get a leadoff base runner here in the bottom of the first. That'll bring up the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez on the year, hitting .288, 3 home runs, and 12 RBIs. Murphy set, checks Austin at first. Worth taking a glance at over there. Throw over, and Austin gets back. Austin, 11 stolen bases in his 30 games played this year. Tyler Murphy looking into Ricky Rodriguez. Murphy has his sign. Checks first. Here's the pitch. Rodriguez takes high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the first. Leadoff man's reached base for the Wild Things. Ricky Rodriguez at the plate. Murphy has his sign. He's set. And throw over to first. Jamal Austin back again. 1 ball, no strikes. Nobody out in the bottom of the first. Windy City retired 1-2-3 in the top half of this inning. Jamal Austin reaching base here in the bottom half to start things. Murphy has his sign. Looks in the 1-0. Rodriguez lined to the left center field gap. That'll get down and go. Be cut off by the center fielder, John Williams. Bill comes into second, holding Ricky Rodriguez at first base with a single. And Jamal Austin makes it up to third. It's first and third with nobody out for your Washington Wild Things. Rodriguez and Jamal Austin have gone back-to-back base hits and have set the Wild Things up with nobody out for their leading RBI guy, Brian Harr. Harr, 7 home runs and 21 RBIs on the year. Hit his 7th home run in last night's game, hitting .218 on the season. As he looked to drive in more, Austin and Rodriguez setting the table. See if he can come through. Murphy set. And the pitch. Hard takes this one on the outside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. Austin and Rodriguez back-to-back singles as they did in yesterday's ball game. See if Brian Hart can come through. And yesterday he hit a 6-4-3 double play. Murphy has his sign. And the pitch. Harsh swing a ground ball to third. Smart has it to second for 1 on to first. It's a double play, but Jamal Austin does come in, and the Wild Things take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. Not exactly what Brian Harr wanted as he hits into the 5-4-3 double play, but it does do the job as Jamal Austin comes in. Harr will not get an RBI on that double play. Rodriguez erased at second. That'll bring up the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins hitting .330, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. The pitch, right back to the mound. Murphy has it, and he'll flip onto first, and that is out number 3. The Wild Things get a run in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. After 1, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 1, Windy City 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the second, and the score, Wild Things 1, Windy City 0. Your Windy City Thunderbolts went 1-2-3 in the top of the first as Matt Frauden struck out the first 2 men he faced as he got Tim Zier and Coco Johnson both on strikes. Then Ransom alone would pop out to end the first inning. Due up here in the second against Matt Frauden will be Cody Kiefer, Blair Beck, and Taylor Smart. 4, 5, and 6 facing off against Matt Frodden. Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. And if you haven't heard yet, country artist Chris Young will be in concert at Consol Energy Park on August the 25th. Tickets for that concert are available at Ticketmaster.com. 1-2-3 inning for Matt Frodden in the first. Looks to continue his success here in the second. And the first man he'll face is Cody Kiefer. Kiefer on the year, 305, 3 home runs, and 10 RBIs, sitting in that cleanup spot tonight and playing in right field. Kiefer in right field as well in last night's ball game. Frodden set. Here's the pitch. Kiefer bunting, but he'll take a strike at the knees. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the right fielder for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Was the designated hitter last time the Wild Things saw the Thunderbolts, as Reggie Lawson got most of the starts in right field. But this time around, Kiefer playing right in all 3 games. The 0-1. Kiefer grounds this one to second. Brian Haar handles it. Throw on to first. And that's out number 1 here in the top of the second. 2 pitches and 1 out for Matt Frodden, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Blair Beck. Beck on the year, hitting .254, 4 home runs, 19 RBIs. Hit his 4th home run of the season in last night's game. It was a solo home run in the top of the second. That made the score at that point 3-2 Wild Things. Wild Things lead 1-0 here in Game 3 of this 3-game series in the top of the second. Frodden set the pitch, and that one's on the outside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Windy City first baseman. Frodden looks in. Here's the 0-1. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. For as good as Trevor Foss has been, Matt Frodden has been just as good. Picking up the losses last time out, gave up 4 runs in that last start. But other than that start, he's been very good for the Wild Things in the rotation. This one fouled off, and the count goes to 1-2. 2-1 record, the 3rd lowest ERA on the team, the 2nd lowest ERA out of all the starters. And looking today, the Wild Things coming into this one currently 3rd in the league in team ERA. Frodden looking in, has his sign. Here's the 1-2. And a called strike 3 on the outside corner. Frodden's 3rd strikeout of the day. And there are now 2 outs here in the top of the second with your Wild Things leading 1-0. And that brings up the 3rd baseman, Taylor Smart. Smart on the year, .298, 1 home run, and 15 RBIs. Has played 3rd base in all 3 games against the Washington Wild Things. Been out there for all 6 that the Wild Things have played the Thunderbolts this year. Smart with that .298 average. The pitch, and that one's low and outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Matt Frodden, the right-hander on the hill. Frodden looks in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And this one lined into right field. That'll be a base hit. The first hit on the day for the Windy City Thunderbolts gives them a 2-out base runner, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Reggie Lawson. Lawson did not play DH last night, but pinch hit for the original designated hitter, Johnny Ironman. Lawson comes into this one, currently hitting .224 with 1 home run and 14 RBIs. Runner at first, 2 men out here in the top of the second. Wild Things lead 1-0 over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Frodden has his sign, checks first, and the pitch. And that one's on the inside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Frodden working ahead in the count so far today. That's something we didn't see against Joliet on Tuesday night, as he fell behind a lot of batters, and that caused him some trouble. Here working ahead so far today, the 0-1. Throw over to first, and getting back over there is Taylor Smart. For Smart on the season, in 32 games played, he has 5 stolen bases. Frodden's 0-1, and this ball hit the center field. Jamal Austin going back a couple steps. He camps under it and makes the catch, and that is out number 3. No runs for the Thunderbolts on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left after 1.5 to score. Your Washington Wild Things 1, Windy City 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get to sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the second, and your Washington Wild Things currently lead this one 1-0 over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Last inning for your Washington Wild Things, Jamal Austin led things off with a single, followed by a Ricky Rodriguez single. So there was runners at first and second with nobody out. So Rodriguez and Austin, or first and third, nobody out, Rodriguez and Austin doing a great job of setting the table for the Washington Wild Things so far this season, before Brian Harr hit into a 6-4-3 double play. And that would result in 2 outs. But Jamal Austin would come in, and the Wild Things took a 1-0 lead. Then Dave Popkins would ground out to end the inning. Do it for the Wild Things here in inning number 2. Jimmy Yezzo, Nick Ferdinand, and Logan Ox. The 5, 6, and 7 men in the order, facing starting pitcher Tyler Murphy. Murphy allowing that 1 run in the first inning on those 2 hits. So Rodriguez and Austin do what they've been doing all year and get on base for your Washington Wild Things. Clearview Federal Credit Union has branches in Canonsburg, McMurray, and all over southwestern Pennsylvania. Visit clearviewfcu.org to find one near you. For Tyler Murphy, as we said, not originally the scheduled starter for this ball game. It was Brady Muller who was supposed to make the start today. However, Muller a late minute scratch as Tyler Murphy gets the start in this one. Jimmy Yezzo stepping in for your Wild Things to lead off here in the bottom of the second. Yezzo joining us on the pregame show, comes into this game hitting .217, 4 home runs, and 17 RBIs on the season. He drove in 4 runs yesterday as he steps in, a big 3-run homer in the bottom of the first, also an RBI single in the bottom of the third. Murphy setting the pitch, and Yezzo takes outside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count to the Wild Things designated hitter, Yezzo at first base last night. Murphy going through the signs again. 1-0 the count on Yezzo. Wild Things lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. Murphy set the 1-0. Yezzo lines this one into the seats and foul, so the count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike for Yezzo. It was his 4th home run of the season. Currently tied for second on the team with Dave Popkins with 4. Ryan Harr leads with 7. Murphy's 1-1. And Yezzo pops this one up behind home plate. Larry Balkwill, the catcher, camped under it, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 1 here in the bottom of the second. The first man retired. Yezzo getting under that one and popping it straight up. It was hit a mile into the air, and it results in the first out here in the bottom of the second. That'll bring up the left fielder, Nick Ferdinand. Ferdinand coming into this one hitting .240, no home runs, 7 RBIs. Got the night off in last night's contest. 1-0 Wild Things lead here in the bottom of the second from Consol Energy Park. Murphy set, here's the pitch. And Ferdinand takes this one at the knees for a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wild Things here early on against Tyler Murphy, taking the first strike, waiting for a pitch they can handle. Murphy looks in, here's the 0-1. Ferdinand lines this one to the right field, and that'll fall for a base hit. 1 out single for Nick Ferdinand gives the Wild Things a runner on base, and that'll bring up the first baseman Logan Ox. Ox comes into this game hitting .257, 1 home, 4 RBIs. His walk numbers have been up in this series. He's walked 4 times in 2 games here against Windy City. Couple of trucks beeping on I-70 beyond the right field stands here at Consol Energy Park. As they're rooting on their Washington Wild Things from the highway. Tyler Murphy throw over to first, and Ferdinand's back in there. Ferdinand has not yet stolen a base with his time with the Washington Wild Things. Signed last homestand before the Wild Things went on the road. Murphy set the 0-1. Ox takes this one outside for a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Logan Ox. Hit his first Washington Wild Things home run in last night's game, a solo shot in the bottom of the 8th to give some insurance for the Wild Things. Murphy has his sign, the 1-1. Swing and a miss by Ox, 1 ball and 2 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count, 1 out. Logan Ox at the plate. Steps back in as they fix the scoreboard. Scoreboard said 1 and 2. The 1-1 count. Murphy set. Checks first. And a throw over there. And Ferdinand dives and he's back in there. No tag applied by Blair back at first base. Ferdinand has some speed. He's not stolen a base yet. It's one of the faster guys on the Wild Things team. Murphy has his sign. The 1-1. Ox takes this one at the knees for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ox, as we said, 4 walks in these last 2 games for your Washington Wild Things against the Windy City Thunderbolts. Murphy looks in, has his sign, checks first, and the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Ox strikes out, and there are 2 men out here in the bottom of the second. That'll bring up the catcher, Alex McKeon. McKeon comes into this one hitting .213, 1 home run, 5 RBIs. His home run came in Game 1 of the doubleheader against these Windy City Thunderbolts during the last homestand. And it drove in 2 of his 5 RBIs. Nick Ferdinand at first. He singled with 1 man out. Wild Things lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the second with 2 away. Murphy setting the pitch. McKeon takes this one inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on McKeon. Primary catcher for the Wild Things, making his 6th straight start behind the plate today. Murphy has his sign. He's set. Checks first. Long look over there, the 1-0. Checks his swing, but he goes around, and that's called a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. McKeon from Tarrytown, New York. Product of the Boston Red Sox organization. Tyler Murphy looks in, has his sign. He's set. Checks first. And the 1-1. And that one's in the dirt for a ball. McKeon goes ahead. 2 balls and a strike. Want to send a Father's Day shout out to my dad listening out there, Jeff Ziegler. He's out there listening today. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers around the Washington area and across the country if you're listening. Murphy set. And the 2-1. McKeon takes this one high for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count, and the Wild Things catcher, Nick Ferdinand at first after his 1-out single. Has been there after a Logan Ox strikeout. McKeon up now. 3 balls and a strike. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second from sunny Consol Energy Park. Murphy set. And the 3-1. Ferdinand taking off for second. This one hit on the ground to Lalone. Lalone throws on to first, and that is out number 3. No runs for the Wild Things on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 2, the score. Washington 1, Windy City nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here in the top of inning number 3. Your Wild Things currently lead this one 1-0 over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Last inning for the Windy City Thunderbolts, Cody Kiefer would ground out to start things, then Blair Beck struck out. Taylor Smart would single. It was the first hit of the day for Windy City, and Reggie Lawson would fly out to end the second inning. Due up here in the third for your Wild Things, Larry Balkwell, for the Windy City Thunderbolts, Larry Balkwell, John Williams, and Tim Zier, 8-9-1. Against Matt Frauden. Matt, making his 6th start of the year, has been very good since being out of the Wild Things rotation. Not initially in the rotation to begin the year, as the Wild Things only needed 4 starters, so Frauden was used out of the bullpen. His first appearance of the season coming out of the bullpen against Joliet. But then, ever since entering that rotation, he has a record of 2-1. All those the 2-1 record coming from his time in the rotation, a 3 ERA, and he's been solid in this rotation for the Wild Things. Ready to start the top of the third here from Consol Energy Park. The catcher, Larry Bulkwill, will lead things off. Bulkwill comes into this one hitting 188, 1 home run, and 3 RBIs. Bulkwill, the backup for Windy City, as he's giving primary catcher Corey Bass a night off. Frauden looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's on the outside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. About a halfway full crowd here on this Father's Day from Consol Energy Park. The 0-1. Bulkwill fouls this one off into the seats, and the count goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Talking to Jimmy Yezzo earlier today. Says his father's in the stands today for Father's Day, cheering him on. First baseman for your Wild Things. Frauden's 0-2. And this one fouled back to the screen. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Matt Frauden on the hill, facing Larry Bulkwill. Bulkwill getting a start this afternoon. Early evening, late afternoon. Bulkwill appearing in his 13th game for the Thunderbolts. The pitch. And just off the outside corner. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Matt Frauden, 3 strikeouts already through 2+ innings of work. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and he gets him. Bulkwill retired. That's the 4th strikeout for Matt Frauden on the day, and that'll bring up the center fielder, John Williams. Williams hitting 176, no home runs, and no RBIs. Frauden retires the first man he faced here in inning number 3. Just 1 hit so far. That was by Taylor Smart in the 2nd inning. Frauden looking in. Here's his pitch. Williams bunting, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Here on John Williams, the number 9 hitter in this Windy City order. And the next pitch is off the knee pad of Alex McKeon, and it goes into foul territory. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Matt Frauden, last time he took the hill to start this homestand, went 6 1/3, gave up 4 runs, all earned, 5 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts in the loss against Joliet. Already has more strikeouts than he did in that game, with 4 on the afternoon. Williams fouls this one off towards the pavilion area here at Consol Energy Park, and the count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Your Washington Wild Things lead 1-0 here in the top of the third with 1 out. Matt Frauden on the Hills just giving up 1 hit to this point. Frauden looking in. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss and a ball in the dirt. McKeon dropped it, so he has to throw on to first, and it's in time over there for out number 2. Strikeout 2 to 3 put out. Strikeout number 5 on the day for Matt Frauden here in 2 2/3 innings of work so far, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Tim Zier. Zier 0 for 1 with a strikeout on the day. Struck out in that first inning in last night's game. Zier ended up going 1 for 5 with a single. Also struck out, hit into a fielder's choice, grounded out, and flew out. Frauden set. Here's the pitch. And Zier takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. One thing we've seen from Frauden today, he's been ahead of a lot of these Windy City hitters, doing a nice job of getting out in front early, using his fastball and changing speeds effectively. The 1-0 swung on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count is Frauden keeping these hitters off balance. That was a changeup following a fastball to start the at-bat. And Zier just way out in front. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here, with 2 outs in the top of the third, and your Wild Things leading 1-0. Tim Zier's played second base in all 3 games for Windy City. Frauden's 1-2. Swing and a miss, and he gets Zier. Strikes out the side here in the third. Has 6 strikeouts through 3 innings of work. 1, 2, 3 go the Windy City Thunderbolts, and after 2.5 to score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Windy City 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings. plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going into the bottom of inning number 3, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 1 and the Windy City Thunderbolts nothing. Last inning for your Wild Things, they did have a man on base. Jimmy Yezzo would pop out to the catcher behind home plate. Nick Ferdinand would single, Logan Ox would strike out, and Alex McKeon would ground out to end the inning. Due up for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the third, Austin Wilbrock, Jamal Austin, and Ricky Rodriguez as 9, 1, and 2 due up to face Tyler Murphy. Murphy allowed that run in the first inning. Kind of settled down last inning. Didn't allow an extra hit. He's allowed 3 hits on the day to your Washington Wild Things. Not allowing a run in the last inning. Wild Things will see if they can get on the board here in the bottom of inning number 3. Sundays are Kids Club days at Consol Energy Park. Children 12 and under can join the club for free. They get lots of perks, including a t-shirt, giveaway items, and free tickets to all Kids Club days. For more information, log on to WashingtonWildThings.com or call the box office at 866-456-WILD. The Kids Club is sponsored by Kona Ice, Med Express, PA Leadership Charter School, Pepsi, and Frito-Lay. Tyler Murphy finishing his warm-up tosses here as we get ready to start the bottom of the third. Austin Wilbrock stepping in to lead things off. Wilbrock on the day hitting 190, 1 home run, and 7 RBIs. First man to face Tyler Murphy. Murphy looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. Wilbrock fouls this one off to the left. No balls and a strike. Wilbrock, a little bit of a slump lately. His no hits so far in this series. He moved down to that number 9 spot. That average currently sitting at 197, trying to raise that back above 200. Murphy has his sign. Here's the 0-1. Wilbrock a chopper to second. Tim Zier handles it, throwing to first, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the third as Wilbrock grounds out. That brings up the center fielder Jamal Austin. Austin singled and scored in his first at-bat in inning number 1. Yesterday ended up going 1 for 5. Single, run scored, pop out, fly out, ground out, strikeout. So getting out almost every way you can at the plate yesterday, as well as getting that base hit. Murphy set. Here's the pitch to Austin. Austin bunting, and he'll take a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count, 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Wild Things lead 1-0 over the Windy City Thunderbolts from Consol Energy Park. Murphy setting the 0-1. This ball foul away into the seats, and the count goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Wild Things second time through the order here. We've seen what Tyler Murphy can do. We'll see if they can add on a few more hits and hopefully put some more runs on the scoreboard. Currently lead 1-0. Murphy looking in, and the 0-2 pitch. And that one's outside for a ball, wisely laid off by Jamal Austin, 1-2. Murphy trying to get the swing and miss from Jamal Austin, but Austin not obliging. Murphy looking in, has his sign. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a chopper. That'll roll foul off to the right, and the count stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jamal Austin has been battling a lot lately in these at-bats. Fouling off a lot of tough pitches and just ending up getting on base successfully. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count on the Wild Things center fielder. Murphy set. Here's the pitch. And Austin takes this one high. Count goes to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Murphy looking in. Has his sign. Here's the 2-2. And that pitch is high, ball 3. Count goes full on Jamal Austin here as he looks to get on with 1 away. Reached bases last time via the single and would score. Murphy looking in. Has his sign. Here's the 3-2. And that one's high ball forward. A one-out walk gives the Wild Things a base runner as Austin reaches. And every time Jamal Austin reaches, you got to be concerned. He is a speed threat. Stolen 11 bases so far this season in 30 games played. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez singled in his first at-bat yesterday, was 2 for 2. 2 singles, 2 walks, and scored 3 of the team's 8 runs. Jamal Austin takes his lead from first. Average size lead over there. Murphy has his sign. Long look into the plate. Here's the pitch. Rodriguez lines this one over the head of Taylor Smart at third base and into left field. Austin around second, heading to third. Rodriguez trying to get there in second, and he slides, and I think they tagged him for the out. Austin is also thrown out at the plate. A double play, and the inning is over on a crazy play to end the inning. So no runs in the inning on no hits, no errors, nobody left on. Ricky Rodriguez trying to extend a single to a double, almost avoided the tag at second base, but unsuccessfully does it. When Jamal Austin saw Rodriguez break for second, Austin went for the plate, and the return home by Tim Zier was in time to get Austin, and that is how the double play happened. We're going to go to the top of the fourth. Your Washington Wild Things currently lead this one 1-0 over the Windy City Thunderbolts. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back. We're back here on the MSA Sports Network as we go to the top of the fourth. Your Washington Wild Things currently leading this one 1-0. And right now, Matt Frodden on the mound is on a roll. Struck out the side last inning as he got Larry Balkwill, John Williams, and Tim Zier all to strike out. Has 6 strikeouts on the afternoon so far, and things are just going Matt Frodden's way today. Looking to continue that roll, has just allowed 1 hit. That hit coming to Taylor Smart in the second inning. Due up to face Frodden here in the fourth. Coco Johnson, Ransom Malone, and Cody Kiefer. 2, 3, and 4 facing Wild Things right-hander Matt Frodden. And right now, Ricky Rodriguez dealing with something in the dugout. His glove and hat are sitting at the third base position, but he's not out there yet. That's who we're waiting for right now to start the top of the fourth. Now Ricky Rodriguez coming out as he goes to his position. And we are ready to start the top of the fourth. Matt Frodden finishing his warm-up tosses here. Fire down by Alex McKeon, and we are ready for baseball here in the top of inning number 4 with your Wild Things up 1-0 over the first place Windy City Thunderbolts, and Coco Johnson coming to the plate. Johnson on the day 0 for 1 with a strikeout. In last night's game, as we said, a big day for Johnson. It was 4 for 4. Solo home run, 2 singles, a double, and also walked. He ended up scoring 3 runs on the day. Frodden set, here's the pitch. And this one in the dirt, no balls and a strike. Or 1 ball, no strikes, excuse me. 1-0 the count on the Windy City left fielders. Played left field in all 3 games this series for Windy City. Frodden's 1-0. And this one fouled back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Coco Johnson standing in there. 5'11", 205 from Benton Harbor, Michigan. A returner to this Windy City Thunderbolts team. Frodden set the 1-1. Johnson grounds this one down the left field line, but it goes foul past third, and the count goes to 1-2. Frodden, 3 up, 3 down via the strikeout last inning. Has 6 strikeouts in 3 innings of work. He looks to continue the roll he's on here against the Windy City Thunderbolts. Frodden looking in. Has his sign, the 1-2. And that one's outside for a ball. Johnson won't chase it. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. First time through the order, struck out 5 of the 9 hitters. Struck out Tim Zier to start the second time through the order. Frodden's 2-2. Swinging on a fly ball to left field. Going over is Ferdinand, and he will make the catch. That's out number 1 here in the 4th. That's the 5th straight Windy City Thunderbolts set down. That'll bring up the shortstop, Ransom Lalone. Lalone 0 for 1, popped up to second in his first at-bat. In yesterday's ball game, ended up going 0 for 3, but he was hit by a pitch twice. He also struck out, flew out, and hit into a double play. Frodden looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Lalone takes inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Lalone has been hit a total of 3 times this series. Frodden's 1-0. Lalone takes this one on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Matt Frodden, as we said, making his 6th start of the year for your Washington Wild Things. Frodden has his sign, the 1-1. And that one's in the dirt for a ball. Frodden falls behind Lalone here. 2 balls and a strike. Frodden hasn't been behind many batters tonight, as falls behind 2-1 here to Ransom Lalone. He's set the 2-1. And this ball popped up on the right side of the infield. Jimmy Yezzo going back, being called off by Brian Haar, and Haar will make the catch. That's out number 2. 2 away here in the 4th. Matt Frodden continuing his roll, and that'll bring up the right fielder Cody Kiefer. Kiefer 0 for 1, grounded out to second in his last at-bat. Kiefer in last night's game ended up going 2 for 4. Double, single, also popped out and grounded out in last night's 8-6 loss for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Frodden set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a line drive to left field. Ferdinand coming on. He dives, and he made the catch. What a catch by Nick Ferdinand, and that will end the inning. 1-2-3 go the Thunderbolts here in the 4th, and after 3.5 to score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Windy City 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get to sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Currently going to the bottom of the 4th, and your Wild Things lead this one 1-0 over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Last inning for your Washington Wild Things. 3 men to the plate. Austin Wilbrock grounded out to start things. The Jamal Austin would walk, and Ricky Rodriguez hit into a bizarre double play, lying the ball down the left field line. It was cut off by left fielder Coco Johnson. Johnson threw back into second. The throw was in time to get Ricky Rodriguez. However, Jamal Austin standing at third base saw Rodriguez taking off for second, and Tim Zier, alertly after tagging Rodriguez, throws home to get the final out in the bottom of the 3rd, as Austin was nabbed at the plate. Due up for your Washington Wild Things here in the 4th, Brian Haar, Dave Popkins, Jimmy Yezzo, 3, 4, and 5 to face starting pitcher Tyler Murphy. Murphy so far just giving up that 1 run in the first inning, a run on 4 hits for the Wild Things. No runs on 1 hit for the Windy City Thunderbolts. July 9th is going to be a special one at Consol Energy Park. It's Cicada Night, where it is the team's changing its name due to the influx of cicadas here in Washington County. There'll be a special jersey auction and more. Plus, there'll be an ugly Christmas blanket giveaway to the first 1,000 fans. Get your tickets today for Cicada Night at Consol Energy Park. Cicadas flying around here at Consol. A lot of them in the area. They actually have a video on the board before the game saying, "Watch out for our little friends," as they don't hurt you, but they are very annoying flying around and getting in your way. Brian Haar leads off here in the bottom of the 4th. Haar 0 for 1, hitting to a double play. First pitch to him's low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Brian Haar hit his 7th home run in last night's game, was 1 for 4 with that 2-run shot that brought in Ricky Rodriguez and himself. The 1-0. Haar hits this one down the right field line, hooking into the stands, and it'll go foul. Count goes even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, and nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. Wild Things lead 1-0 over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Kids Day here at Consol Energy Park, also Domestic Violence Awareness Day. And all dads got a sunglass croaky upon entrance to the ballpark. Murphy's 1-1. And inside the Har, Murphy falls behind 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. One thing we talked about for Murphy coming in is the low number of walks he has. He only has 3 walks and 17 innings of work coming into this game. And so far, he's held true to that standard, not falling behind many batters, just like Matt Frodden. Murphy's 2-1. Swing and a miss by Har. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Murphy only 1 strikeout victim on the day as he struck out Logan Ox first time through the order. Had 19 strikeouts and 17 innings of work coming into this one. Murphy looking in, has his sign. And the 2-2. And a swing and a fly ball down the right field line. This will hook foul. And the count will remain even at 2-2. Brian Har leading this team in home runs and RBIs with 7 and 21. Hit his 7th home run last night and scored RBIs 20 and 21. Har stepping in, nobody out in the bottom of the 4th. Har the leadoff man in this inning. Murphy set the 2-2. Har fouls this one off again. So 3 straight foul balls by Brian Har as he makes Tyler Murphy work here. Count sitting at 2-2. Talking to Brian Har earlier in the season, said he added a leg kick to his batting stance this year. It affects his average. However, his power numbers have gone up. He hit 1 home run in the Minnesota Twins organization a year ago. Already has 7 home runs this season. Murphy has his sign. Here's the 2-2. Har a swing and a miss, and he strikes out to start the bottom of the 4th for your Washington Wild Things. That'll bring up the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins 0 for 1. And the last night's game was 1 for 3. Walked, scored a run, singled, grounded out, and flew out in last night's contest. Popkins in that cleanup spot leads the team in average this year, hitting .330 coming into this game. Murphy has his sign. Here's the pitch. Popkins takes this one on the outside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Popkins led this team in home runs and RBIs a year ago. Here's the 0-1 for Murphy. And Popkins hits this one to center field. Williams going back initially, now coming in and makes the catch. That's out number 2. First 2 men retired here in the 4th for your Washington Wild Things. That'll bring up Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo 0 for 1. Last night's ballgame was 2 for 4, drove in 4 RBIs, hit a 3-run homer in the 1st, an RBI single in the 3rd, struck out in the 5th, and flew out in inning number 7. Coming up here in the bottom of the 4th, his dad is on hand this afternoon on this Father's Day. Murphy's pitch to Yezzo is low for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Yezzo. Big day yesterday for your Wild Things. Designated hitter today, played first base in last night's game. Here's the 1-0. Yezzo grounds this one to second. Tim Zier handles it, throw on to first, and that is out number 3. 1-2-3 go your Wild Things here in the 4th, and after 4 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Windy City Thunderbolts 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball as we're going to the top of the 5th, and your Wild Things leading this one 1-0. As last inning for the Windy City Thunderbolts, a 1-2-3 inning as Coco Johnson flew out, Ransom alone popped out to Brian Har, and Cody Kiefer robbed of a base hit by Nick Ferdinand. Ferdinand made a diving catch to end the inning. He ran on, caught the ball a few inches away from the turf, and saved a hit for Matt Frodden. Frodden so far on a roll has allowed just one hit through 4 innings of work while striking out 6 batters and not allowing a run. Matt Frodden, a very good job so far for the Wild Things. Looks to continue here in the 5th. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Blair Beck, to start things in the 5th. It's Beck, Smart, and Lawson due up for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Beck on the day 0 for 1 with a strikeout, one of the 6 strikeout victims for Matt Frodden this afternoon. Frodden looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And this one taken low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Blair Beck. Matt Frodden, so far so good for your Washington Wild Things. Here's the 1-0. Beck checks his swing. Did he go around? Appeal to the field umpire, and yes, says Ron Whitting Sr., and the count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, as Ron Whitting Sr. says that bat broke the plane. For Beck in yesterday's ball game was 1 for 5 with a solo home run. Grounds this one to Austin Wolbrock at short. Wolbrock has it, throw on to first, and that's out number 1 here to start the top of the 5th. Frodden retiring Blair Beck. And currently 8 straight retired for Matt Frodden as Taylor Smart will step in. Smart, the only hit on the day for the Windy City Thunderbolts, as he singled in the 2nd inning. Smart in last night's ball game ended up going 2 for 3. 2 singles, a walk, and a strikeout. Frodden set in the pitch. Smart lines this one back to the screen. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Matt Frodden. Or here on Taylor Smart facing Matt Frodden. Home plate umpire goes to retrieve that baseball. As here on the turf field, you don't have to worry about dirt marks on the ball. So most of the pitches are reused by the starting pitcher. Frodden looking in. Here's the 0-1. Smart takes this one just high for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Taylor Smart, the third baseman for these Windy City Thunderbolts, came in today hitting .298. Frodden has his sign. Here's the 1-1. And this ball popped up. Foul territory on the right field side. Yezzo going over in front of the Wild Things dugout, and he can't make the catch. He closed his glove just early. Not able to make that catch, and the count goes to 1-2. Yezzo looking between the wall and the stands. Didn't know if he had room or not. Looked down for 1 second, took his eye off the ball, and wasn't able to make the catch. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count here on Taylor Smart after that drop foul ball. They will give Yezzo an error for that one, so an error coming on the drop foul ball, and 1-2 the count. Frodden looking in, has his sign. Here's the 1-2. And Smart takes this one in the dirt. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Your Wild Things leading this one 1-0. Matt Frodden so far just 1 hit through 4 1/3 innings. Has 6 strikeouts on the afternoon. Frodden set. Here's the 2-2. And this one chopped towards third. Ricky Rodriguez handles it. Throw across to first. And nice pick by Yezzo over there. And it is in time to get Taylor Smart. That's out number 2. Yezzo making up for dropping that foul ball as he makes a nice pick on a throw in the dirt by Ricky Rodriguez. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Reggie Lawson. Lawson 0 for 1 to this point. Flew out in inning number 2. In last night's ball game, pinch hit for the designated hitter, Johnny Ironman, and ended up going 0 for 1. Walked twice and hit into a fielder's choice. Frodden set. Here's the pitch. Lawson takes this one in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Wild Things currently lead this one 1-0 over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Here in Game 3, Wild Things have taken the first 2 games of this series. Here's the 1-0. This one lined to third. Diving try by Rodriguez, but it's down the line and left a fair ball. Lawson around first, heading to second. Here comes Ferdinand's throw to second, and it's not in time. Reggie Lawson in there with a 2-out double. The second hit today for Windy City. Ends a streak of 9 straight retired by Matt Frodden, and that'll bring up Larry Bulkwill, the catcher. Bulkwill 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Did not play last night as the regular catcher Corey Bass caught. Bass ended up going 0 for 3, strikeout, 2 flyouts, was hit by a pitch, and hit an RBI double on the day. 2 outs, runner at second for the Windy City Thunderbolts after the Reggie Lawson double. Your Wild Things lead this one 1-0. It was only the second hit given up by Matt Frodden on the day, as he's now facing the catcher Bulkwill. Frodden looks in, has his sign, checks second, here's the pitch. And a ground ball towards short. Wobrock has it, throw on to first, and that is out number 3. No runs in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 4.5 the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Windy City 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 5th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Windy City Thunderbolts 0. Last inning for the Wild Things, they went 1-2-3. Brian Harr struck out, Dave Popkins flew out, and Jimmy Yezzo grounded out to end the 4th. Due up here in the 5th for your Wild Things, Nick Ferdinand, Logan Ox, and Alex McKeon, as it is 6, 7, and 8 due up for your Washington Wild Things. Get into our social media poll question. Today's question, how'd you spend Father's Day with your dad? How'd you go out and celebrate your dad? Tell him he's the best. Tweet me at BigZig73. You can also hit me up on Facebook, Zach Ziegler. Just search it in the search box. You'll find me. Just tell me how you spent your day with your dad. Earlier, my dad and I went out golfing at South Park Golf Course. Had a lot of fun out there. Didn't do too well, but hey, it's about the fun of the game, right? As we're here at the bottom of the 5th on this Father's Day, June 19th, Wild Things lead 1-0, 1 run, 4 hits for your Wild Things, and 1 error. No runs on 2 hits, and no errors for the Windy City Thunderbolts. The Wild Things are offering a flex plan promotion this season. Get a 12-ticket plan for the price of a 10-ticket plan. Flex plans are great for people who have hectic schedules and can't take advantage of a typical season ticket package because they're not sure which games they can attend. A flex plan gets you ticket vouchers at a reduced cost, and you can redeem them whenever it's convenient for you. Call the box office today at 866-456-WILD for more information. Ready for the bottom of the 5th here for your Washington Wild Things. Nick Ferdinand stepping in to lead things off for your Wild Things. Ferdinand on the day, 1 for 1 with a single. And Ferdinand did not play last night. Andrew Heck got the start out in left field. Heck went 1 for 5 with a double. Murphy set, here's the pitch. Ferdinand pops this one up into the seats in right. Foul, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Tyler Murphy's still out there. Murphy not the scheduled starter. Brady Muller was supposed to make the start this afternoon, but a late-minute scratch as Tyler Murphy took the mound. Murphy working here in his 5th inning, Murphy set, here's the 0-1. Ferdinand takes inside for a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Murphy had made 1 start earlier in this season, so it's 17 innings of work this year. Mostly appeared out of the bullpen, a very low 1.05 ERA. He's set in the 1-1. Ferdinand takes this one low for a ball, 2 balls and a strike. For Nick Ferdinand, however, since joining the Wild Things, he's driven in 7 RBIs in 7 games played for the Wild Things, so a very productive player in his early Washington Wild Things career. Here's the 2-1. Ferdinand fouls this one back to the screen. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. Wild Things a slim 1-0 lead as we're locked in a pitcher's duel here from Consol Energy Park. Bottom of the 5th, Wild Things leading this one 1-0 right now. Murphy looks in, has his sign, here's the 2-2. Ferdinand, ground ball to short. Lalone has it, throw on to first, and that's out number 1 here in the 5th inning. Murphy's now retired 5 straight for your Washington Wild Things, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Logan Ox. Ox currently in this one is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Struck out in the 2nd inning. Last night's game, he ended up going 1 for 2, a solo home run, a flyout, and 2 walks. He's had 4 walks so far in this series. Murphy set the pitch. Ox takes inside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on the Wild Things DH. Played first base in last night's game. Was designated hitter in last night's game. Played first base today. Yezo at first in last night's ball game. Murphy looking in. And the 1-0. And this one, called strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count on Logan Ox. Murphy, the right-hander, facing Ox, the left-hander, the left-handed batter. Murphy set. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a ground ball at the middle. Lalone will handle this one as well. Throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 2. So Tyler Murphy hitting his stride here is he's retired 6 straight, and that brings up the catcher Alex McKeon. McKeon 0 for 1 to this point, grounded out to short his first time. Last night's game, McKeon was 0 for 3, grounded out, flew out, hit into a fielder's choice, and walked on the evening. Game 3 of this 3-game series, your Wild Things trying to sweep the Windy City Thunderbolts. A run on 4 hits for your Wild Things, no runs, 2 hits for the Thunderbolts. The pitch, swung on and fouled away, no balls and a strike here to Alex McKeon. 0-1 the count, 2 men out here in the bottom of the 5th. 1 run on 4 hits, 1 error for your Wild Things, no runs on 2 hits, and no errors for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Murphy set. Here's the 0-1. McKeon takes this one for a strike, no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. McKeon trying to get something going, just the 1 run in the bottom of the 1st so far for the Wild Things, and that's all. Murphy set. The 0-2. And McKeon checks his swing and takes this one high for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Murphy tried to change the eye level of Alex McKeon there. Couldn't do it. As McKeon laying off of that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 men out. Murphy set. And the 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss by McKeon. He strikes out. It's the 3rd strikeout victim for Tyler Murphy. And the Wild Things go 1-2-3 here in the 5th. After 5 innings of play, the score, Washington 1, Windy City 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of inning number 6, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Windy City 0. Last inning for the Thunderbolts, they stopped a string of 9 straight retired for Matt Frodden. Blair Beck and Taylor Smart were both ground out to start the inning. Then Reggie Lawson doubled, and Larry Balkwill grounded out. That double by Lawson, only the 2nd hit allowed on the day for Matt Frodden, as he's been on a roll here in his 4th start. His line so far, 5 innings of work, striking out 6, not allowing a run on 2 hits, and he has yet to walk a batter. So a very good day for Frodden so far. Due up in the 6th to face him, John Williams, Tim Zier, and Coco Johnson, 9, 1, and 2 to face the Wild Things right-hander. Wednesdays are bucket hat days at the park this summer. For $15, you can get a reserved seat ticket and a bucket hat. What a deal! And also on Sundays, bring your church bulletin to the park, and we'll give you a $2 discount on your tickets. 2 of just the many great promotions here given up by the Washington Wild Things. Today, all dads got a sunglass croaky who entered the ballpark. It's a little string that they hold around the neck to hold sunglasses. I've seen them. They look pretty cool. So the dad's getting a cool piece of equipment here at the game today. Also have an ugly Christmas blanket giveaway later in the season on Cicada Night. So that's another very good deal. Come out here at Consol Energy Park, support your Wild Things, and get some really cool giveaways here at Consol Energy Park. John Williams stepping in to lead things off. 0 for 1 with a strikeout to this point. Fraud and set. Here's the pitch. Williams lines this one to left field. Ferdinand giving chase. He's not going to get it. It gets down and goes to the wall. Williams around first, heading to second, and he will pull into second with a leadoff double here in the 6th. The Windy City threatening with a man in scoring position and nobody out, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Tim Zier. Zier 0 for 2. Struck out in the first, struck out in the third. As the Windy City Thunderbolts now a leadoff man at second. Their third hit of the afternoon against Matt Frodden. Frodden will look to keep this a 1-0 lead for your Wild Things. Frodden looking in. Has his sign. He's set. Checks second. Here's the pitch. Zier bunting, but he'll pull back and take a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Here on the Windy City second baseman. Matt Frodden making his 6th start of the season. Yezo in the corner. Ricky Rodriguez also in. Wild Things middle infield playing back. Here's the 1-0. Another bunt, and this one's a called strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike as Zier pulls back again. Zier trying to sacrifice his man over to third base. Standing on second, John Williams started the inning off with a double, only the 3rd hit of the day for the Windy City Thunderbolts, as Tim Zier still going through the signs. For Williams, on the season, it's his 4th hit of the year for Windy City. Here's the 1-1. Zier bunting, gets this one down. Yezo has it, throws him to the second baseman, hard covering, and that is out number 1. Sacrifice bunt, and 2-4, or 1-4 on the putout. Moving up to third base is John Williams. So runner at third, 1 out for Windy City, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Coco Johnson. Johnson 0 for 2, struck out in the first, flew out in the 4th. As he steps in after his big day yesterday, went 4 for 4, including a solo home run. He also singled twice and doubled in yesterday's ball game. Infield comes in for the Washington Wild Things with 1 out and a runner at third. Frodden set. Here's the pitch. Johnson takes outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Frodden 6 strikeouts on the day. Could use 1 here. Frodden set the 1-0. That one's outside as well. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Frodden hasn't had a strikeout since the 3rd inning. He looks on. He's set. Here's the 2-0. And a ground ball stabbed by Matt Frodden. Throw to first is in time. What a play by Matt Frodden to keep John Williams right where he is at third base. That ball is going out to Brian Hard, but Matt Frodden sticks the glove up and makes a great play on the mound to retire Coco Johnson and keep this a 1-0 game. Wild Things infield will go back, and with 2 away, in stepping Ransom Lalone, the shortstop. Lalone 0 for 2 on the day with 2 pop-outs. Frodden set. Here's the pitch. And that one's in the dirt. Nice block by McKeon. 1 ball, no strikes. John Williams, the runner at third. He doubled to start this inning for Windy City. Top of the 6th, 2 outs. Wild Things lead 1-0. Frodden set. Here's the 1-0. And that one's high and inside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. John Williams at third base after the double, moved up on the sac bunt and stayed there on the ground out by Coco Johnson. Frodden set the 2-0. This one grounded towards the middle. Wolbrock going a dive, and he can't get it. It's into center field. This ball game's tied. An RBI single by Ransom Lalone gets Windy City on the board, and we're all tied up at 1 here with 2 outs in the 6th. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Cody Kiefer. So an RBI single for Ransom Lalone. The first run of the game allowed by Matt Frodden here in the 6th, and we're all tied up at 1. Kiefer on the day 0 for 2, ground out, and was robbed of a base hit his last time. Frodden has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. Grounded to first. Jimmy Yezzo handles it, takes it to the bag himself, and that's out number 3. But a run does come in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. And after 5.5 the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Windy City Thunderbolts 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of inning number 6, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Windy City Thunderbolts 1. Last inning, the Windy City Thunderbolts tying this game at 1. For the Wild Things in the 5th, they went 1-2-3, a ground out for Nick Ferdinand, ground out Logan Ox, and a strikeout for Alex McKeon would end that 5th inning. Due up for the Wild Things here in the 6th, Austin Worbrock, Jamal Austin, and Ricky Rodriguez, 9-1 and 2 to face off here against Tyler Murphy. Murphy out there for his 6th inning of work has just given up 1 run on 4 hits. As he's out there now, he's retired currently 7 straight Washington Wild Things as they're trying to get back into this one.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey fans, Washington County's got something for you. Indoors, outdoors, history, sports, gaming, shopping. This is the place for your next adventure. Brought to you by Washington County Tourism Promotions Agency. Visit them at visit WashingtonCountyPA.com. As we're ready to go to the bottom of the 6th, and the score tied at 1 between your Washington Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Windy City comes into this game currently leading the Frontier League East standings. They have a record of 19-13, followed closely behind by the Joliet Slammers. Slammers have a record of 19-14. Austin Worbrock stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of the 6th for your Wild Things, trying to get on base. Murphy set, here's the pitch. And Worbrock, a ground ball on the right side and foul, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Worbrock 0 for 4 in last night's game. Ground out, fly out, pop out, ground out. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th, game tied at 1. Murphy looking in, here's the 0-1. Worbrock, a line drive to center field. Williams coming in and makes the catch for out number 1. Initially didn't have to move, but then came in on the run and made the catch to retire Austin Worbrock. That'll bring up the center fielder Jamal Austin. Austin on the day, 1 for 1, singled and scored a run in the 1st and walked in the 3rd. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. 1 run, 4 hits, and an error for your Wild Things. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Murphy looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's in there for a strike to Jamal Austin. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Tyler Murphy, making only his 2nd start of the year, has appeared in 8 games prior to this one, making his 9th appearance. Murphy set. Here's the 0-1. Austin takes this one outside and low for a ball. Count even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Game tied at 1 here in the bottom of the 6th between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Murphy set. Here's the 1-1. Austin, a line drive down the right field line. That one's hooking over the dessert den here in Consol Energy Park, and that'll go foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. 8 straight retired here for Tyler Murphy. Jamal Austin trying to beat that streak. Murphy looking in, has his sign. Here's the 1-2. And a swing and a ground ball back to the mound. Murphy will handle it, flip onto first, and quickly there are 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th for your Wild Things. That'll bring up the 3rd baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez 1 for 2. Singled in the 1st and hit into a bizarre double play in the 3rd. The double play in the 3rd was scored 7-4-2. As Rodriguez, the base hit to left field. The throw to second got Rodriguez, and the throw home by Tim Zier ended the inning. So Rodriguez steps in. 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th. Rodriguez stepping in, the game tied at 1. Murphy set. Here's the pitch. And that one's low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Ricky Rodriguez. Last night, 1 for 2. Or excuse me, last night 2 for 2. With 2 hits. The night before, 1 for 2. Drove in a run with a sacrifice fly. Here's the pitch. And this one fouled away towards the Wild Things dugout. Count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ricky Rodriguez, the Los Angeles, California native. Getting the start at third base here. We've seen him in third, left, and he's been a designated hitter this season. Murphy looking in, has his sign. Here's the 1-1. And Rodriguez hits this one to right field. Giving chase is Kiefer, but it'll hook foul and go towards the Wild Things bullpen, so the count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Both bullpens getting the afternoon off so far, as both starting pitchers have been very good. Each has given up 1 run on 4 hits here against the opposing team. Murphy looking in. To Balkwill. Has his sign. Here's the 1-2. And it hits Ricky Rodriguez. Got him on the arm. And no, actually they say it hit the nub of the bat. So it's a foul ball. Rodriguez selling it like it hit his hand. But the home plate umpire, Robert Wright, said, no, you get back here. As it hit just the nub of the bat. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Wild Things and Windy City Thunderbolts tied at 1. Tyler Murphy and Matt Frodden locked into a pitcher's duel here in Game 3 of this 3-game series. Murphy set. Here's the 2-2. Swinging a chopper foul. Rodriguez fighting off a tough pitch on the outside part of the plate to keep the count at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. First base coach Mike Marshall retrieving that baseball. Tyler Murphy looking in. Has his sign. Here's the 2-2. And Rodriguez takes a called strike 3 on the outside corner, and that will end the inning. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in the 6th, and after 6 innings of play, the score, your Wild Things 1, Windy City 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Going into the top of inning number 7, and the score right now tied 1-1 between your Washington Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. As we go to the top of inning number 7, last inning Windy City getting on the board as John Williams started things off with a double. Then Tim Zier sacrificed bunt. Coco Johnson would ground out, and John Williams would be stranded at third base then before Ransom Malone came in with a 2-out RBI single, scoring Johnson and tying the game at 1. The inning would end as Cody Kiefer would ground out to end the inning. Due up here in the 7th against Matt Frodden, Blair Beck, Taylor Smart, and Reggie Lawson, 5, 6, and 7 to face off against Matt Frodden. Locked in a pitcher's duel here at Consol Energy Park. Both pitchers 1 run on 4 hits through 6 innings of work, as Matt Frodden will try to keep the Windy City Thunderbolts off the board here in the 7th. Blair Beck steps in to start things here in the 7th. Beck so far 0 for 2. Strikeout and a ground out on the day. Beck played first base in both the first 2 games, now playing it here in Game 3. Frodden set. Here's the pitch. This ball grounded to second base. Brian Haar has it. Throw on to first, and that's out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 away for Frodden here in inning number 7. A nice fast start, and that's what you want. Still no action in the bullpen for your Washington Wild Things. Matt Frodden on a roll so far, so they're going to let him keep going. No action down on Windy City's side either, as Tyler Murphy's on a roll of his own. That'll bring up the third baseman Taylor Smart. Smart 1 for 2. Single and a ground out to this point. Frauden looking in. Has his sign. Here's the pitch. And this one's taken for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Matt Frauden looking into his catcher, Alex McKeon. McKeon, the regular catcher for the Washington Wild Things. Here's the pitch. And that one's low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Here on Taylor Smart. Matt Frauden evening the count up as home plate umpire Robert Wright's dealing with something in his eyes. He's trying to fix it. Alex McKeon will give him time as he goes out to talk to Matt Frauden. Frauden so far through 6 1/3 innings of work, 6 strikeouts, just allowing the 4 hits and the 1 run. That run came in last inning on the RBI single by Ransom Malone. Wright is okay, so we are ready to resume baseball. 1-1 the count, 1 out here, and Taylor Smart the batter. Frauden looking in, has his sign. Here's the 1-1. And that one's low for a ball as Frauden falls behind. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Here in the top of inning number 7, game tied at 1 between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Wild Things Domestic Violence Awareness Day. It's Wild Things wearing special white and purple jerseys. Here's the 2-1. And this one lined to right field. Dave Popkins coming in, and he can't make the catch, and it gets by him and rolls to the track. Smart around first, heading to second. Smart round second, on his way to third. Here comes the throw, and a big turnaround third, but Smart will stop at third, and he's in there with a 1-out triple. So Taylor Smart reaches on a triple. Popkins came in, could not make the play, and actually they're going to give an error. They're going to give an error as well as a hit to Taylor Smart. So it's a single and a 2-base error as Popkins came in, not able to handle that ball, and Smart gets in there at third. Reggie Lawson, the batter. Lawson 1 for 2. Flew out and hit a double so far. Wild Things infield in the pitch. Lawson grounds this one foul off to the left. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Matt Frauden again trying to see if he can strand that runner at third. Did not do so in the 6th. As the runner was at third with nobody out, trying to do so here. Runner at third, 1 out. Frauden set, checks third, the pitch. Lawson takes this one for a strike. No balls, 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. 6 strikeouts on the day for Matt Frauden. However, has not picked up a strikeout since the 3rd inning. Frauden looking on, has his sign. He's set. The 0-2. Ground ball past a diving Austin Wolbrock. It's an RBI single for Reggie Lawson, and the Windy City Thunderbolts take the lead here in the top of the 7th. They now lead 2-1. Wolbrock did everything he could to stop that ball, and it rolls in to left field for a base hit, giving Windy City a 2-1 lead. That'll bring up the catcher Larry Balkwill. Balkwill 0 for 2. As he steps in here, Frauden set. Throw to first, and Yezo saves Frauden there on the pickoff move. Reggie Lawson back. 1 run in the inning for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Reggie Lawson, an RBI single, has brought in the 2nd run of the game for the Windy City Thunderbolts. They have the lead 2-1. Here's the pitch. Balkwill fouls this one off to the right. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Here on the Windy City catcher, giving normal catcher Corey Bass a day off. Matt Frauden allowing his 2nd run here. Has allowed 2 hits in the inning so far. That run unearned due to the error by Dave Popkins. Frauden's 0-1. And that one's low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Frauden trying to get through 7 here. 2 runs on 6 hits. No errors for the Windy City Thunderbolts so far. 1 run, 4 hits, 2 errors for the Wild Things. Frauden set. Checks first. Here's the 1-1. This one fouled back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Wild Things come in today. Record of 17-14. Currently 3 games above 500. Windy City 19-13. As they sit 6 games above 500. Matt Frauden looking in. Reggie Lawson takes his lead from first. Frauden throw over there. And Lawson gets back. Reggie Lawson reaching on the RBI single that drove in Taylor Smart. Smart got to third after a single and a two-base error by Dave Popkins out in right field. The 1-2. And this one's in the dirt. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Reggie Lawson at first base. 2 steals in 30 games played so far. Frodden looking in. 2 balls, 2 strikes from sunny Consol Energy Park. Last game of this homestand. Frodden set the 2-2. This one lined towards center over the head of Brian Hall. It's a base hit. Reggie Lawson will be held at second. There are now runners at first and second with 1 man out. The Frodden has allowed 3 straight hits here after only allowing 4 hits coming into this inning. And there are runners at first and second with 1 away here in the top of the 7th. A run in already on the Reggie Lawson single. That brings up the center fielder, John Williams. Windy City leads 2-1 here in the top of the 7th. Wild Things scoring their only run in the first inning. And Windy City getting runs in the 6th and 7th. Frodden set, check second, the pitch. And this ball hit the left field. Ferdinand coming in, running, and he won't make the catch. It falls in front of him. Lawson around third, he will score. And John Williams in there with an RBI double, his second double of the game. And Windy City now takes a 3-1 lead over your Washington Wild Things. 4 straight hits here against Matt Frodden in inning number 7. 2 runs have come in, and that'll prompt action in the Washington Wild Things bullpen. Colin Stanley starting to warm up out there for your Wild Things. Alex McKeon coming out to talk to Matt Frodden. Well, Frodden before this inning just 1 run on 4 hits. As he does give up an unearned run, Dave Popkins not able to handle a fly ball in right field with that last run earned. So Frodden here, men on second and third, 1 out, 2 runs in already. And Tim Zier stepping in. Zier 0 for 2 strikeouts, also a sacrifice bunt. Frodden looks in, has his sign, checks third. Here's the pitch. And that one's in the dirt for a ball. Nice block by McKeon. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. 4 straight hits for the Windy City Thunderbolts after Blair Beck grounded out to start this inning. Frodden looking in. Has his sign. He's set. Checks third. And the 1-0. That one's outside. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Matt Frodden having trouble finding the plate here in the 7th. Has now given up 3 runs in this game. Just 1 run entering this game. Now has given up 2 more this inning. Frodden's 2-0. And that one's inside, ball 3. Frodden not able to find the plate here against Tim Zier. 3 straight balls following the 4 straight hits. 3-0 the count. Frodden looking into Tim Zier. And now Zier calls time. Cicadas flying around home plate. It's been a problem this homestand for both teams, the Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Frodden set the 3-0. And it's outside, ball 4. A 4-pitch walk. And the bases are full. Windy City Thunderbolts with 1 out here in the top of the 7th. 2 runs in already. And that'll bring up Coco Johnson. But before manager Greg Langben will come out of the bullpen, or out of the dugout, and we will have a pitching change. So we're going to take a break here on the Washington Wild Things coverage on the MSA Sports Network. Right now, Windy City leads 3-1. Colin Stanley on his way in.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station, one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, currently in the top of the 7th, and the score, Windy City 3, and your Washington Wild Things 1. However, the bases are currently full of Wild Things as Larry Balkwell stands on third. Balkwell singled. Then John Williams at second after his RBI double, and Tim Zier walked. He is at first base. New pitcher for the Washington Wild Things is Colin Stanley. Stanley enters this game with a record of 2-1, a 4.50 ERA. Has appeared in 12 games, no starts, 16 innings worked, giving up 8 runs, all earned on 15 hits, 13 strikeouts to 6 walks, and that 4.50 ERA. First man to do it to face him will be Coco Johnson. Johnson coming up with the bases loaded and 1 out. Johnson on the day is 0 for 3, struck out in the first, flew out in the fourth, and grounded out in inning number 6. As the corners for the Wild Things will be in, Brian Harr and Austin Wobrock about halfway between the bases here for your Washington Wild Things. Coco Johnson stepping in. Stanley, the new pitcher, has his sign. He's set. And the pitch. Coco Johnson takes a ball low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. You're on the left fielder for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Wild Things and Thunderbolts were tied 1-1 before coming into this inning. 2 runs have come in on an RBI single by Reggie Lawson and an RBI double by John Williams, the 1-0. This one chopped towards third. Rodriguez steps on third for one. Throw across and a double play. Just what the doctor ordered out of the bullpen. And that will retire the side. 5-3 double play. 2 runs come in on 4 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 6.5 the score, Windy City 3, your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf. Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
Now we can hear all the voices in the stadium. Everybody, get together and take me out to the ball game for the 7th-inning stretch.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 7th in the score. Windy City 3 and your Washington Wild Things 1. Windy City adding 2 runs in the top of this 7th inning to take the lead over your Wild Things. Wild Things so far have not had any offense since inning number 1. They scored their only run in the game in the first inning on a double play ball by Brian Harr. Since then, Tyler Murphy is on a roll, having retired 10 straight Washington Wild Things. They went 1-2-3 in the 6th as Austin Wobrock flew out, Jamal Austin grounded out, and Ricky Rodriguez struck out. So the Wild Things looking to break this streak of 10 straight retired by Tyler Murphy. Due up for the Wild Things, Brian Harr, Dave Popkins, and Jimmy Ezzo, 3, 4, and 5 against Murphy, trying to break this streak. Harr leading things off here on the day, 0 for 2, hitting a double play and struck out. Brian Harr hit a 2-run homer in last night's ball game. It was his 7th home run of the year, and brought in RBIs 20 and 21 for the third baseman. So Harr trying to break a streak of 10 straight retired for the Washington Wild Things. As Murphy, looking into Harr, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Harr takes this one inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Wild Things down by 2 here in the bottom of the 7th. Need a bloop and a blast to tie it. Murphy set. Here's the 1-0. Harr, ground ball to short. Ransom alone has it, thrown to first, and that's out number 1 here in inning number 7. So 1 away for the Washington Wild Things. That'll bring up the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins 0 for 2, grounded out in the first, and then flew out in inning number 4 as he'll try to get on base with 1 away. Popkins, the leader on this team in average, hitting .330 on the season, 4 home runs. His 4 home runs put him second on the team. Murphy set. Here's the pitch. Popkins takes a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Popkins 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. His 12 RBIs have him tied for third with Ricky Rodriguez. Pitch. Popkins fouls this way off to the left. Yezzo, a fly ball right to left field. Johnson going back to the track, to the wall, and makes the catch at the base of the wall, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go your Wild Things again here in the 7th, and after 7 innings of play, the score, Windy City 3, your Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 8th in the score. The Windy City Thunderbolts 3, your Washington Wild Things 1. Colin Stanley back out there for his first full inning of work. Got the last 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th as Windy City added 2 runs in the bottom of that 7th inning. It would start out with a Blair Beck ground out, then Taylor Smart singled and reached third on an error by Dave Popkins. Then Reggie Lawson an RBI single, Larry Balkwell singled, and John Williams an RBI double that ended up scoring Reggie Lawson, and that gave the Windy City Thunderbolts a 3-1 lead. Tip Zier would walk following that to load the bases before Coco Johnson hit into a double play that would end the inning. Due up for the Thunderbolts here in the 8th, it's Ransom Lalone, Cody Kiefer, and Blair Beck. 3, 4, and 5 set to face Colin Stanley. Stanley getting that double play on 2 pitches to retire the 7th inning. First man to face him, Ransom Lalone, the shortstop. More action in the Wild Things bullpen as Brian O'Keefe warming up out there. Colin Stanley on the mound now in his first full inning of relief. Stanley has his sign and the pitch. And that one's in there for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Windy City shortstop. Wild Things have taken the first 2 games of this 3-game series, as they won game 1 by a score of 3-0. Won last night 8-6. Stanley's 0-1. And that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count on the Windy City shortstop. Wild Things on the road as they will travel tomorrow to Traverse City to start a 3-game series Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with the Beach Bums. The 1-1, and that one's grounded off to the left and foul. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's Ransom Lalone, the first batter here in the top of the 8th for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Windy City added 2 runs in the top of the 7th to take this 3-1 lead. Stanley set the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Stanley gets him out. McKeon has to throw down to first to complete the play. He will. Strike out 2-3 put out, and there's one away here in the top of the 8th. With one out, that'll bring up the right fielder, Cody Kiefer. Kiefer 0 for 3 as he grounded out, flew out, and grounded out in this game. 2 ground outs and a fly out for Kiefer. There is action in the Windy City bullpen. As warming up out there, Joel Lima. Stanley has his sign. He's set. And the pitch. And that one's inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to the batter, Cody Kiefer. 1-0 the count. Right-hander Colin Stanley in for his first full inning of work. Got the last 2 outs in inning number 7 via the double play ball. Stanley has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-0. And this ball popped up. Behind the plate, Alex McKeon giving chase near the Wild Things logo, and he runs out of room as that one will go into the stands. Count goes to 1-1. Thought he was going to have room to make that play, but he ended up running into the screen, and it fell in the first row behind the screen, behind home plate. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. Cody Kiefer the batter. Windy City leads 3-1 over your Washington Wild Things. 13 straight set down by Tyler Murphy. Going into last inning, Colin Stanley has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-1. And this one grounded foul off to the right. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Windy City leads 3-1. 3 runs, 8 hits for the Thunderbolts. 1 run, 4 hits, 2 errors for your Washington Wild Things. As Joel Lima will more than likely pitch the 8th inning. Stanley has his sign, the 1-2. And checking the swing at the plate is Kiefer, but he holds up in time as this one's low for a ball. Count even at 2-2. Appeal to the field umpire. And yes, the count will be 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count with 1 out here in the top of inning number 8. Stanley looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Stanley strikes him out. Second straight strikeout for Colin Stanley, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Blair Beck. Beck 0 for 3, strikeout in the 2nd, ground out in the 5th, ground out in the 7th. 2 away here in the top of the 8th. Windy City leads 3-1 over your Washington Wild Things. Colin Stanley looking for a 1-2-3 inning number 8. It's Brian O'Keefe ready out there in the bullpen. As a baseball has fallen onto the field. One of the Windy City bullpen guys gets it. And we are ready for action again. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss by Blair Beck. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. 2 strikeouts to start the inning for Colin Stanley. Got the double play ball to end inning number 7. And has struck out the first 2 men he's faced here in the 8th. Blair Beck the batter. Stanley has his sign. He's set. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Getting ahead here of Blair Beck. Getting a couple of chases at balls in the dirt through the last 2 at-bats. Whipping the curveball in there. 0-2 the count. 2 men out here in the top of the 8th. As Wild Things down by 2. Stanley looking to get him back to the bat racks. Stanley has his sign. He's set. And the 0-2. Checks his swing. Did he go around? No, says the field umpire, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Blair Beck at the plate. Windy City leads 3-1 over your Washington Wild Things here in the top of the 8th. Stanley wants to go through the signs again as he steps off the mound. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 men out here in the top of the 8th. The pitch. Checks his swing. Did he go around? Yes, says the field umpire, and that is out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Thunderbolts in the 8th. Colin Stanley strikes out the side, and after 7.5 the score, the Windy City Thunderbolts 3, your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, MSA Sports Network.
We're back here in the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Pitching change for the Windy City Thunderbolts. As now into the game, Joel Lima. Lima has no record, a 1.92 ERA. Appearing in his 16th game, has thrown 14 innings of work, giving up 3 runs all earned on 10 hits, 12 strikeouts, and has not walked a batter here in his first 15 appearances. For the Wild Things, they've had 13 straight men retired as they're looking to get back into the hit column here in the 8th inning. Last inning, another 1-2-3 inning. Brian Hall grounded out. Dave Popkins struck out, and Jimmy Yezzo, flew out to end that 8th inning. Clay Chapman warming up in the bullpen for the Windy City Thunderbolts. As Lima coming in to pitch the 8th, due up to face Lima, Nick Ferdinand, Logan Ox, and Alex McKeon, 6, 7, and 8 against Joel Lima, trying to get on the board for the Wild Things, currently down 3-1. Ferdinand striding in so far, 1 for 2, singled in the 2nd, grounded out in the 5th, and now batting here in the 8th. 3-1 Wild Things down, 3 runs on 8 hits for the Thunderbolts, 1 run, 4 hits, 2 errors for the Washington Wild Things. As Nick Ferdinand coming to the plate. Here at Consol Energy Park. Wild Things wearing their domestic violence awareness jerseys, white on top with the purple and black stripes at the waist. The first pitch to Ferdinand is high for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Nick Ferdinand, signed last week by the Washington Wild Things. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss by Ferdinand, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Here on the Wild Things left fielder, Andrew Heck started in left field last night. Here's the 1-1. And that one's low for a ball, 2 balls and a strike. That one bounced up to the plate by Joel Lima. Lima set, and the 2-1. Ferdinand checks his swing, and it's outside for a ball, 3 balls and a strike. Ferdinand trying to get on base any way he can for the Washington Wild Things to start this 8th inning. Lima set. Here's the 3-1. And Ferdinand takes on the inside corner for a strike. Count goes full 3-2. Logan Ox, the on-deck batter for your Washington Wild Things. Lima set. The 3-2. Ferdinand pops it up on the infield. Ransom alone going out behind the mound. Now he'll make the catch. And that's out number 1 here in the 8th inning. Ferdinand pops out, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Logan Ox. Ox 0 for 2, struck out in the 2nd, grounded out in the 5th, and now up here in the 8th. 1 out for the Wild Things in the bottom of inning number 8 as Logan Ox steps up. Ox at first this afternoon. Lima set. Here's the pitch. And that one's inside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Logan Ox. Lima has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-0. Ox takes this one for a strike at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Lima's 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. 1 man out here in the bottom of inning number 8. Joel Lima looking in. Has his sign. Here's the 1-2. In the dirt. Can't get Ox to chase, and the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. 1 man away. Joel Lima on the mound facing Logan Ox at the plate. Lima looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 2-2. Way outside for a ball. Count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Two straight full counts here for Joel Lima to start the 8th inning. 14 straight Wild Things retired as they're trying to get on base here in the bottom of the 8th, down by just 2. They still have a chance as the count sits at 3-2. Lima set the 3-2, and it's low ball 4. So Logan Ox reaches on base here with 1 out, and that'll bring up the catcher Alex McKeon. McKeon 0 for 2. Ground out and a strikeout to this point. Ox on first base after the walk. McKeon represents the tying run with his team down 3-1 here in the bottom of the 8th. Joel Lima coming in here for the 8th inning of work. Got Nick Ferdinand to pop out to start, then Logan Ox walked. Quick throw over to first, and Ox gets back. No stolen bases for Ox since joining the Wild Things. Joel Lima looking in. Has his sign. He's set. Checks first. And the pitch. McKeon takes for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Here on the catcher for your Washington Wild Things. Lima set. Here's the 0-1. This one chopped foul off to the left. Almost a barehanded play by Greg Langben managing at third base, but it goes foul. No balls and 2 strikes, excuse me. 0-2 the count. Here to Alex McKeon trying to start something for the Wild Things. The walk to Ox just ended a string of 14 straight retired for the Wild Things. Lima set. The 0-2. In the dirt for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wisely laid off by Alex McKeon. 1-2 the count. 4 hits on the afternoon for your Wild Things. Austin Rodriguez Ferdinand holding the hits. Here's the 1-2. And that one's outside, laid off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. It's Lima looking in. Has his sign from Bulkwill. He's set. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball, fouled on the left field line. Count remains 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 5 strikeouts for Tyler Murphy, the starter for the Windy City Thunderbolts. That's the final line on Murphy. Went 7 innings, gave up 1 run. It was earned on 4 hits, 5 strikeouts and a walk. And a swing and a miss. McKeon chases 1 outside. That's the first strikeout for Lima, and there are 2 away here in inning number 8. That'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock is currently 0 for 2 on the day. Ground out and a fly out to this point. Logan Ox still at first base. Walked with 1 out as Wobrock will try and drive him in. Lima set. And the pitch. Wobrock, a line drive into right center field. Going over his Kiefer, and he makes the running catch. And that will end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left on base. And after 8, the score. Windy City 3, your Washington Wild Things 1. We'll be right back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get to sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to a resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 9th, and the score, Windy City 3, your Washington Wild Things 1. Pitching change for your Wild Things as in comes Brian O'Keefe. O'Keefe, no record on the year, a 2.79 ERA. His pitching in his 8th game has went 9 2/3 innings of work, and we have 3 runs all earned on 7 hits, 5 strikeouts, and 3 walks for the left-hander for the Wild Things. 1 of 2 lefties in the Wild Things bullpen, O'Keefe and Devin Davis, the 2 lefties out there in the Wild Things pen. O'Keefe coming in now for the 9th inning. Due up to face him here in the 9th will be Taylor Smart, Reggie Lawson, and Larry Balkwill. 6, 7, 8 against Brian O'Keefe. Last inning, Colin Stanley struck out the side in order, striking out Lalone, Kiefer, and Beck to end the 8th inning. Final line on Colin Stanley, 1 2/3 innings, not giving up a run on no hits, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. Final line on Matt Fraud, as we haven't given you that one yet. Fraud went 6 1/3, gave up 3 runs, 2 earned on 8 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. First batter here for the Windy City Thunderbolts will be Taylor Smart. Smart on the evening is 2 for 3. 2 singles and a ground out. Brian O'Keefe on the mound, facing Taylor Smart. O'Keefe set. Here's the pitch. Smart takes inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Brian O'Keefe, as we said, no record. The 2.79 ERA, appearing in his 8th game. The 1-0, and that one's high as well. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, and nobody out. Here in the top of the 9th, between your Windy City leads 3-1 between Thunderbolts and your Wild Things. Here's the 2-0. Grounded right back to the mound. O'Keefe knocks it down, finds it, throws to first, and the throw gets by Jimmy Yezzo and down the line. Smart around first, heading to second. Now around second, heading to third. The throw coming in from Ox, and Wobrock gets it. The runner at third now, a 3-base error on the throw by Brian O'Keefe. E1 as Taylor Smart reaches to third, and the Windy City Thunderbolts a chance to add on here in the 9th. That'll bring up Reggie Lawson. Lawson on the day, 2 for 3, double, single, RBI, and a flyout. Isaac Gill begins to warm up out in the Windy City bullpen, the closer for these Windy City Thunderbolts. Infield comes in. O'Keefe's pitch, way inside to Lawson. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the designated hitter for the Windy City Thunderbolts. O'Keefe has his sign, and the 1-0. Lawson takes this one for a strike on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Nobody out here in the top of the 9th. E1 on that last play. A 3-base error. Here's the pitch. This one popped up. Foul territory. Ox giving chase. So is McKeon over by the Wild Things dugout, and they'll run out of room. McKeon tried to jump on the Wild Things dugout to make that play, but it bounces into foul territory, and the count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. O'Keefe on the year has 5 strikeouts, so not very high strikeout numbers for 9 1/3 innings pitched. The runner at third, Taylor Smart, reached there on a 3-base error on the throwing error by Brian O'Keefe. O'Keefe has his sign. He's set. The 1-2. And it's inside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. O'Keefe looking to get through this 9th scoreless. But Windy City a chance to add on with that runner at third. Nobody out. O'Keefe set. Here's the 2-2. Grounded towards second. Brian Harr, diving stop. Nice play. Throw to first. And that's out number 1. That keeps Taylor Smart right where he is at third base with 1 out in the top of the 9th. And that'll bring up the catcher, Larry Balkwill. Balkwill 1 for 3, struck out in the 3rd, grounded out in the 5th, and hit a single in the 7th inning. 3-1 Windy City leads with 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Brian O'Keefe on the mound. There is action in the Wild Things bullpen. Andrew Wick warming up out there. O'Keefe has his sign. Here's the pitch. Balkwill bunting, suicide squeeze. Ox has it, he can't handle it. McKeon picks it up, and no one's covering first. There's Jimmy Yezzo out there at first now. And Yezzo charged. He couldn't handle the ball. If he had a chance to handle it, he could have made the play at home. But the suicide squeeze is successful, as they will give an error now to Jimmy Yezzo. So E3 there, as Balkwill reaches and Taylor Smart scores. It's now 4-1 Windy City, and that'll bring up John Williams, the center fielder. One out here in the top of the ninth. Windy City adds a run. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed by Williams. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Brian O'Keefe on the mound. O'Keefe set. Here's the 0-1. And that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1, 1 out here in the top of the ninth. 1 run in already, as Larry Balkwell reached on an error. O'Keefe set. Here's the 1-1. That one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. The runner at first, Larry Balkwell, tried the suicide squeeze. Yezo was charging, had a chance to make the play at home, but he couldn't handle the ball. And everyone ended up being safe. The 2-1, line towards Wolbrock, and it's into center field, a base hit. A single for John Williams. It's actually the first hit of the inning, and there's runners at first and second now with 1 away. That'll bring up the second baseman, Tim Zier. Zier 0 for 2 to this point, struck out in the first, struck out in the third, and a sack bunt in the 6th, and walked in inning number 7. Alex McKeon out to talk to Brian O'Keefe. O'Keefe usually comes in long relief situations, but hasn't pitched in a while. So manager Greg Langben chose to go with Brian O'Keefe here in the 9th inning, and so far has allowed 1 run and has just gotten 1 out to this point. O'Keefe looking in, has his sign, checks Balkwell at second. Here's the pitch. This one grounded towards second base. Brian hard charging. His only play is going to be to first, so he throws over there for out number 2. 4-3 on the putout. Meanwhile, Balkwell moves up to third, and John Williams moves up to second. Runners at second and third. 2 outs for Windy City. They lead 4-1, and in steps Coco Johnson, the left fielder. Johnson 0 for 4, struck out in the first, flew out in the fourth, grounded out in the 6th, and hit into a double play in the 7th. O'Keefe looking in. 2 outs, 2 on here for Windy City. O'Keefe set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. O'Keefe looking to retire the side, just limiting the damage to 1 run. O'Keefe looks in, has his sign, checks Balkwell at third. Here's the 0-1. And that one's in the dirt for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Brian O'Keefe appearing in his 9th game. O'Keefe set. And the 1-1. Way inside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Corralled by Alex McKeon behind the plate. Count goes to 2-1. 2 outs. O'Keefe, as we said, came into this game with a 2.79 ERA. Had allowed 3 runs in 9 2/3 innings of work. O'Keefe has his sign. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2. And awkward swing from Reggie Lawson as he falls down after swinging. Falls right on his butt on home plate. Count goes to 2-2. Larry Balkwell at third. He reached on an error. John Williams at first. He singled. Both moved up on the ground out by Tim Zier. Brian O'Keefe looking in. He's set. Has his sign. And the 2-2. Outside for a ball. Count goes 4-3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ransom alone would be on deck if Coco Johnson reaches. O'Keefe looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 3-2. Swing and a miss. O'Keefe strikes him out, and the inning is over. On base, and after 8.5 to score, Windy City 4, your Washington Wild Things 1. Wild Things trying to come back and win it in the bottom of the 9th. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf. Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the ninth, and Windy City leads this one 4-1. New pitcher for the Windy City Thunderbolts coming into this one is Isaac Gill. Gill on the year, no record, 3 saves, a .675 ERA. Just throwing in this his 5th game. He's thrown 4 innings of work, giving up 4 runs, 3 earned on 3 hits, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Wild Things saw him twice. Last time out, he picked up 2 saves in that 3-game series. Due up for the Wild Things here to start the bottom of the ninth, Jamal Austin, Ricky Rodriguez, and Brian Haar trying to get the Wild Things back in this game, currently down by 3. Austin standing in on the day, 1 for 2, scored a run in the first, walked in the third, and grounded out in inning number 6. Isaac Gill on the mound, Jamal Austin at the plate. Wild Things trying to come back here in the bottom of the ninth. Isaac Gill looking on. Has his sign. He's set. And the pitch. Austin takes outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Jamal Austin looking to get on base to lead the inning off. Austin and Rodriguez have both been doing a good job of getting on base lately. See if they can do it here in the ninth. The 1-0. And that one's lined down the right field line. Foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Nobody out. Jamal Austin and Ricky Rodriguez getting on to start the game in each of these 3 games. Trying to do it here in the ninth for Brian Haar. Gill set. Here's the 1-1. Austin takes inside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Austin ahead in the count. Austin leads the team in stolen bases this year with 11. Isaac Gill looking on. Has his sign. Here's the 2-1. And this ball popped foul into the seats. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And nobody out here in the bottom of the ninth. Wild Things trying to come back. Currently down 4-1 to the Windy City Thunderbolts. Isaac Gill set. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Austin strikes out, and there is 1 away here in the bottom of the ninth. That'll bring up the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez in this one, 1 for 3, single in the first, hit into a double play in the third, and struck out in inning number 6. Due up here in the ninth, Isaac Gill looking for his 4th save of the season. Facing Ricky Rodriguez here with 1 out in the bottom of the ninth, and the Wild Things down 4-1. Isaac Gill set. Here's the pitch. Rodriguez takes a strike on the outside corner, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wild Things an off day tomorrow, a travel day, as they'll travel by bus to Traverse City, Michigan to take on the Traverse City Beach Bums, a 3-game series that starts Tuesday night. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count on Ricky Rodriguez. Facing Isaac Gill. Jamal Austin struck out to start the inning. Gill looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 0-2. Swinging a foul ball back towards the screen. And the count goes to stays at no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. 1 out here in the top of the ninth, or the bottom of the ninth. Jamal Austin struck out to start things. Isaac Gill looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Rodriguez strikes out. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the bottom of the ninth. Last chance for the Wild Things as that brings up Brian Haar. Haar 0 for 3. Hit into a double play in the first. Struck out in the 4th. And grounded out in the 7th inning. Isaac Gill looking for save number 4. Wild Things trying to avoid that. Gill has his sign. He's set. And the pitch to Haar. Haar, a chopper slowly down the left side, but it'll go foul. No balls and a strike. 1-0 0-1 the count to the Wild Things second baseman. Leads the team in both home runs and RBIs with 7 and 21. Has moved around the infield a lot for the Wild Things this year. Playing third, short, and second. Playing second base today. Gill set. And the 0-1 to Har. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. Wild Things down to their last strike. Coming in today at 17 and 14. 3-game series starting on Tuesday night in Traverse City. It's the last game of a 6-game homestand. Gill set. And the 0-2. Outside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gill thought he had the strikeout, but he'll have to do it again. 1-2 the count on Brian Har. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Even if the Wild Things lose, they still have taken the series with Windy City. So they've won the first 2 games. Gill has his sign. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Har strikes out. Isaac Gill strikes out the side. And the ball game is over. Wild Things drop the last game of this 3-game series. Final score, Windy City 4, your Washington Wild Things 1. Keep it tuned right here to the MSA Sports Network for the Washington Wild Things postgame show. Final score in this one, Windy City 4 and your Wild Things 1.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Final score in this one, the Wild Things fall to the Windy City Thunderbolts 4-1. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things postgame show. Wild Things still win the series, winning the series 2-1 as they took the first 2 games against the Windy City Thunderbolts. Going to take a look at the scoring recap. Not much scoring to go around today, as the scoring would start in the bottom of the first with the Washington Wild Things. Jamal Austin would single and Ricky Rodriguez would single. The runners at first and third with nobody out before Brian Har hit into a 6-4-3 double play, allowing Jamal Austin to score and giving the Wild Things a 1-0 lead. Dave Popkins would ground out to end that first inning. Then everything was settled as both Matt Fraud and Tyler Murphy settled in. Fraud went 5 scoreless innings, allowed his first run in the top of inning number 6. The run came in after a leadoff double by John Williams and a sacrifice bunt by Tim Zier moved him up to third with just 1 out. Coco Johnson grounded out for the second out of the inning, and Ransom Malone an RBI single driving in Williams and tying the game at 1. Then trouble for Matt Fraud in inning number 7. It's when it all fell apart. Blair Beck would ground out to start the 7th. Then 4 straight hits, a single by Taylor Smart. He had a 2-base error as Dave Popkins couldn't handle the ball in right field. Got him all the way to third with 1 out, then an RBI single by Reggie Lawson, a single for Larry Balkwell, and an RBI double for John Williams that scored Lawson. That made the score 3-1 Windy City. Tim Zier would walk to load the bases, and that would be all for Matt Fraud. And final line on Fraud, 6 1/3, giving up 3 runs, 2 earned on 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts on the day. Colin Stanley would come in to relieve Matt Fraud and would get a double play on just 2 pitches out of the bullpen to end the inning. Then Stanley came back out in the 8th, struck out the side as Lalone, Kiefer, and Beck all called out on strikes. Then Windy City would add a run in the 9th inning as Taylor Smart would reach on a throwing error by Brian O'Keefe, who came in for that inning. O'Keefe overthrew first base, and Smart got all the way to third on the play. Reggie Lawson would ground out then. Larry Balkwell tried a suicide squeeze, and Jimmy Yezzo charging couldn't handle the ball at first base. It was an E3 allowing Balkwell to reach. Then John Williams would single, so there's first and second with just 1 away. Tim Zier would ground out, and Coco Johnson would strike out to end the inning. Wild Things tried to fight back in the bottom of the 9th, but Isaac Gill retired him 1-2-3, all on strikeouts, and that would end the game. Not a lot of offense to go around today as the Wild Things lose 4-1. Your Washington Wild Things player of the game in this one goes to Colin Stanley. Stanley out of the bullpen, 1 2/3 innings work, struck out the side in the 8th, got a big double play out of the bullpen to keep the game close for the Wild Things. So Colin Stanley, your Washington Wild Things player of the game. The Wild Things have an off day tomorrow night, and then they will travel to Traverse City to take on the Traverse City Beach Bums. Travel day tomorrow, and that game Tuesday night. The series Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as your Wild Things take on the Traverse City Beach Bums. Then they go to Schaumburg to take the Boomers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So a 6-game road trip coming up for your Washington Wild Things. They'll be back here at Consol Energy Park not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday for a doubleheader when they will be taking on, if I can find it here, they'll be back home to take on the Gateway Grizzlies on June the 29th, a doubleheader. That's next Wednesday when your Wild Things will be back home. Final score in this one, Windy City beats your Washington Wild Things 4-1. We'd like to thank you for listening to the MSA Sports Network here on this Father's Day. And before we sign off, I'd like to wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day. I hope you all enjoyed the day and enjoyed listening to Washington Wild Things baseball. Final score in this one, Windy City 4 and your Washington Wild Things 1. Have a good day, everybody.